Welcome to Good Morning Football. We are presented by Intuit QuickBooks. We are live in New York City, Wednesday, November 6th. Already just a day ahead of an AFC West showdown. We've got Oakland and LA Chargers and Raiders squaring off on NFL Network. We'll break down all of that, of course. A big one with the Vikings and the Cowboys. Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brown.
Hello. That's right. We have one hell of a show for you. Listen, two huge quarterback announcements. What is like life after Cam Newton in Carolina? And in his foes, the guy for the Jags, we're also going to do the long show. The long show is going down today where we take the longest plays. And we do a little physical challenge and sometimes a pop quiz by Kay Adams.
What's up, Noah?
A lot of fun here on the show with that one. We'll also break down the most interesting and elaborate schemes of the week on Cool Plays, Bro.
What happens to Cool Plays, Bro? What is that?
Is that Emmanuel Sanders lining up at running back? Why is that the case?
My guy Shrags will get up in front of us with his TikTok account, and he'll do a little Cool Plays, Bro.
Hey, now.
It's what makes our show cool, bro.
That's right.
We also have an absolute legend on the show. After having Jerry Rice yesterday, we have another wide receiver who is a monster on the field for the Lions. He is in the Lions Ring of Honor. Herman Moore is going to be joining us. And not in studio. We're going to take him outside to the New York streets.
Oh.
I'm telling you, don't go anywhere. One great show.
Can I be Scott Mitchell? Throw it lefty to him?
Scott Mitchell.
A lot of Lions talk going on. We have to, of course, talk about the NFC North, but the news of the day is Cam Newton. Let's get to it. The lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block.
Yesterday, the Panthers announced that their quarterback has been placed on injured reserve. They're shutting him down for the 2019 regular season. Now, Cam commented on the team's post on Instagram. Here's what he said. Charlotte and the Panthers will forever be in my heart. I will work my tail off to be stronger, faster, smarter, and more accurate for you guys. Until then, I will continue to support the hell out of the Panthers and for Kyle Allen and Will Greer. Nate, transnate this, especially the fonts. Transnate this.
Well, I don't know if he's trying to keep it cryptic with the way he put the font out there, but I do feel like right out the gate he's telling the fans that if this is my goodbye, I want to show you how much I appreciate you. But then he also on the back end talks about coming back.
Yeah, so what is he saying?
I believe he's reading the writing on the wall, but also giving himself a little bit of a fail-safe in case they do bring him back. I feel like the writing is on the wall. There's only two ways this can go. It's either Cam Newton takes a year and some change off like Andrew Luck did. He comes back, he returns to MVP-like form, and he balls out as a Carolina Panther, retires as a Carolina Panther. He is forever a legend as a Carolina Panther. But then there's another way that this can go where they can trade Cam Newton and simultaneously receive picks while Cam Newton has a fresh start somewhere else, or they can just cut him when his contract is up. There's only two options, just two options. It's either he stays or he goes with some working of his contract, Shregs.
Contract's interesting. So they could save $19 million next year if they release him.
Smart.
And they can give him $2 million. That's all it would be on the books, $2 million. On the other end of it is he's due $21 million from the Panthers. He'll be the best quarterback on the open market this offseason. $21 million compared to what Jared Goff is making, $32 million.
What Dak is asking for?
Dak is going to make $35. Cam Newton for 20. Is that a gamble that the Panthers want to take and roll the dice and say, hey, for one more year,
got some questions
just
for you,
in
man.
case
The Ravens
he gets healthy,
beat the Patriots. So who is the best team in the NFL
we're
now?
turning the page from Cam Newton.
Well, you must think
the other option is to what Nate said, a trade. The team say, okay, hey, look, for $19 million, we'll give you a first-round pick. Give us Cam Newton, we'll take a shot at it.
Whatever it is, I'm sorry.
It's fascinating how it ends up, but I would say this. With him going to the IR,
I'm sorry,
until the
I apologize
playoffs
immensely.
How do you Cam Newton's done for this season, but I'm not ready to close the book on Cam Newton's Carolina Panthers career until I actually see him released or actually see him traded. It makes too much fiscal sense to keep him on the books as just in case, especially if Kyle Allen's making $1 to $2 million next year is what he's due to make.
You know, at some point Cam's going to retire, and we're going to do a segment about what we remember about Cam. I'm going to do the font. I mean, that font is unbelievably signature, and apparently it's an app. You have to get the app to do the font. It's wild. I think, though, in this case, I think he uses that font. And I see a Dear John letter. I really do. Or in this case, it'd be a Dear Ron letter.
The second best receiver, go ahead, ain't nobody saying that.
I think this is him saying, I love you guys. It's been real, and that's it.
Well, y'all heard
and
it,
I
man.
really do think the Panthers are going to move on. I do.
Josh
I think
Gordon,
it's not
the
only the
former
money,
New England Patriot,
it's the
picked up
play,
off waivers.
it's the losses, it's the constant injury, it's the ultimate buyer beware. And, you know, the Panthers replied to it with like some little blue hearts. And I think the Panthers are saying we love
for
you.
Seattle.
And if you love someone, set them free. We've found someone
touchdown in that
who takes
game
care
that
of
some
us
people
and
think
sees to
the
our
Black
knees and
Cat
takes care
had
of the
a part.
ball. Cam Newton is not the face of the team anymore. He's not the leader of the team. It's McCaffrey. And Kyle Allen wins. The only way I think this gets real dicey
on the ground
is if the team falls apart. Kyle Allen starts to play poorly and they miss the playoffs again. Maybe we don't have it, and now we got to have a competition next year. I think those Cam saying thank you has been great.
Carlos Hyde, we've seen so many weird.
I'm telling you, he made a difference. And
Father
fumble at the goal line, it wasn't good on the 60-yarder, but still ended up with a buck 60 on the ground. Vote now at NFL.com/FedEx. Winners will be announced on NFL Total Access after Thursday
maybe the Panthers' greatest player of all time. It didn't end well with Carolina. He mended those fences and now is in the Ring of Honor. But like this would be a dignified end of Cam. You know, it's not like he lost his job with injury. He left it all on the field. It's interesting, though, Peter. Maybe they stay in it because it's actually not that much money if you get real Cam. But how long have we been waiting for real Cam? 3 years?
I think about it that I like that you brought that up because I looked at it as 19.1, 21 point whatever, and it's too much. To me, that's only a deal or a team-friendly deal if you
if he's the quarterback.
If you are the guy who was 2015 MVP or Offensive Rookie of the Year way back when it was another Cam, not the one that's on a losing streak, not the one that has negative rushing yards on this season, and the one who's had a foot, a shoulder, a concussion, a back, a rib, and so on and so on. So we talk about not only just the toll of injuries, but what they do to suck the life out of a player. I just don't know it's such a huge risk that he'll ever come back.
No, it's great. I mean, it's $19 million for the good Cam Newton's a bargain. $19 million for the Cam Newton we have right now is not a good bargain. That's a deal you want to move on from.
Peter, isn't the crux of Cam always that his talent is so seductive that it's different? That it's not like if he were to leave and find his groove again, you're like, we let Cam get away?
We've been on the air for 4 years, and we've started every Cam Newton show with if and when healthy. And he hasn't been. So it's like, I'm a believer. I love it. I saw it in my own eyes. Like I saw it.
Song, though.
But he's not even 30, and I think those days are probably. And this injury here, it's a foot injury where there's no timetable, there's no surgery. He's not getting better. Like that's as bad as it could be for a mobile quarterback.
The one thing we have to think about is these storylines repeat themselves. This isn't much different than Andrew Luck sitting on the sideline.
Andrew Luck retired though.
No, I'm
talking about
before the retirement.
They were willing to pay him.
You talked about the risk. You said if and when Cam Newton gets healthy.
Yeah.
What were we saying about Andrew Luck? If and when he gets healthy. It was almost 2 years before we saw a healthy Andrew Luck. And even when we saw him, remember, he was throwing a tennis ball at practice, and we were thinking to ourselves, dude hasn't held a football yet? There's no way he's going to come back and ball out.
Also starting a couple of rookies on defense. One who essentially helped them bring in a third-round pick
and I feel like
in
this is
season.
the same situation.
Trayvon Mullen,
if indeed Cam Newton really wants to play again. If he has his mindset of recapturing that magic, $19, $20 million, that is one hell of a deal for a guy who put up 50 touchdowns in one season, and let's keep it real, was unstoppable. The question is his body going to hold up with his mind? Because his mind still wants to play, but sometimes your body is screaming at you louder than the fan base saying you need to retire instead of go play more football.
Awesome job laying out the options. So I know you think he's walking away. Where does he go?
From Carolina.
What happens to Cam?
What would be a spot that works?
A spot or a trade, or does he stay?
There's a couple of teams right now that are very interesting. I know that Sam Darnold is a very young quarterback. The last 8 games will be very telling of who this guy really is and if he's a franchise player. And we'll talk about this a little later on in the show. We're going to pick teams of really unique quarterback situations. Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago.
Talk about it.
Think about the talent that he has on that team. If Mitchell Trubisky is neither a supremely talented runner or a supremely talented passer, then you bring a healthy Cam Newton in.
They've also paid a trade away Garrett Conley, bringing in a third. Speaking of trades and draft picks, that first-round pick from the Khalil Mack trade,
I mean,
if the
it's
season ended right now, it would be the 10th overall pick to go with their 16th overall pick, so there is more help on the way.
Cam Newton, you don't know what you're getting. There's a couple situations
you don't know what you're getting in Chicago with Trubisky, Kyle.
Yes, you do, actually. It's not good. That's the problem.
Well, it was an important game.
It's just it changes your whole franchise.
I also think this, in a weird way, these final 8 weeks for Cam, how he serves as Kyle Allen's backup.
He is the new sensation.
A great backup quarterback. That's still because if you're getting Cam, you're like, all right, well, he's not the superstar, but he's still good in the locker room. He's still got veteran experience. He can work with young quarterbacks. That adds 10 years to his career. Like suddenly, wait, you could put Cam Newton in the room and he's not Superman and all that.
Bringing in a Josh McCown.
Mike, take it from the top.
You're getting the outfits and the cult of personality. Like, your whole face of your team and your franchise changes. If he's a backup, he's a starter. It's different than any other guy.
Some teams need a facelift, bro. Some of these teams need a facelift because right now there's a handful of fan bases that we're not even paying attention to. And Cam Newton will grab them out of the gutter and say, I got you.
I love a facelift. I don't want a walking boot, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, it might not even be a conversation if Kyle Allen fails to perform the remainder of the season. What an audition. The young quarterback who's 5-1 now is under. He loses, he comes back, he gets a win last week in Week 9. The team is now his the rest of the way. Do we believe in this kid? We'll break it down a little bit later on Good Morning Football. Up next, Doug Marrone makes the call on his quarterback. A lot of QB changes. You need to keep it straight, keep it right here on GMFB. Can Foles now lead the Jags to the playoffs? Were you surprised by this one?
No, I think we kind of knew it was coming. I think it's the right call.
And the Patriots got exposed by the Ravens. We've got a stat about the Pats offense that might surprise you.
Oh, boy. Minshew was really fun, though. We loved that. And maybe he'll be back.
Alan Matthews.